Is this thing on? Anybody home? We're here in the Bronx, the Foster Bike Park, celebrating Eddie Rios. Met him in like 1993. 30 some odd years later, everyone's hearing his name, having a good time, ripping it up on the ramps. And I think he's looking down and he's stoked. Probably doing some fist pump after blasting a big quarter pipe air.
Eddie Rios was a legendary Bronx rider, and I knew him for a short time, but he always had so much energy and smiles. And I'll say the one thing about Eddie is every single BMX rider that's grown up in New York City that I've known or met always spoke so highly of him, and like you could tell that he was just like everyone's hero and everyone looked up to him, and it's just been impactful, man. I mean, I met so many riders over the 8 years we've been in New York City that come in and talk about back in the day, and all of them talk about Eddie, and I think it just speaks to how amazing and legendary he really was. And yeah, man, cheers to Eddie Rios.
That's all we needed. A flare a day keeps Stevie good in life.
One year it was very cold out. It was right after Christmas. We ended up going to the dirt jumps. There were some old Christmas trees left behind from an apartment building. We dragged all the Christmas trees into the jump. We had a giant tabletop, so everybody went and started jumping the trees. And if you clipped the tree, you ended up not jumping anymore. So we got up to 8, we got up to 10, we got up to 15. And at the last minute, someone dropped a cigarette inside the Christmas trees, and the Christmas trees went ablaze. Now these things are like shooting 10-foot flames over everything. Nobody knew where Eddie was. Eddie went up to the back, to the top of the hill, and when he got up there, came flying down and landed the perfect 360 over the trees on fire. Nobody had a camera, and we were all dumbstruck at the fact that he was able to land it 100%.
Eddie Rios was an amazing rider and a great part of the Northeast scene. One of my earliest memories is going to a contest at the Lakewood Skate Park and seeing him go to the top of the giant vert wall that they had after the box jumps, stand up on top of that thing and drop right in, no problem. Like, people going nuts. And he's just a legendary dude, sick style. And, you know, he impacted all these people and brought us here together. So, you know, it's a great day to celebrate someone who impacted so many lives.
He was a big glue in the BMX world. He kept everybody together. He kept everybody happy. And this is why we're holding this event for him, because we want everybody to know that it's about fun and about family and love and trust and everything. BMX is all of those things. And Eddie would want us to carry on with that, because that's what he was. And he was a big party animal. So every time we hold an event, wherever it is, we're always going to have a big party, because that's what it's all about. BMX is about having fun. And he rode till he couldn't no more, man. And we just want to keep that going. So in behalf of Eddie Rios and all of us here and everywhere in BMX, we want to say thank you. We love you, Eddie. And we'll continue with your legacy, bro.
Yeah, so back in the day, Eddie, I used to come here with a BMX toolbox. Had all kinds of extra parts in the toolbox and shit. And, you know, it was like Joe Pro. Eddie would be like, oh, I could use some new pedals. Boom, he'd throw new pedals on his bike. Oh, I could use a new headset. He'd throw a fucking new headset on his bike. I'd be like, Eddie, motherfucker, you fucking build a whole bike out of my goddamn toolbox. Man, his bike was, you know, a lot to be desired, but his riding sure as hell wasn't. He'd come in here and shred this fucking place and guide everybody as well. He's the best, man. We miss him and love him.
I go to the BMX Action Trick Team show in Queens. Had no business going to Queens at that age. I was a privileged Long Island kid. Roll up, I see these guys all decked out, Redline uniform, Horror uniform, Hutch uniform. They were the coolest guys ever. Me and my friends just sat there, idolized these three guys. We had no idea who they were. Years later, me and Eddie Rios crossed paths. Was at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Eddie would come in every day. Instead of being at his job, he would come and hide at the Navy Yard, hang out with me every day. One day he brings in a photo album. You know, starts showing me pictures of him in the 80s. Sure enough, I look at this album and there's Eddie Rios in a full Redline uniform. And I'm going, we're really good friends. And I used to look up to you. That's my Eddie Rios story.
A little transfer there. Yo! A front flip attempt. You okay, dude? Yo, make some noise for this man right here.
This is Eddie right here doing a specific drop-in.
Eddie and I go a long way back. I met Eddie here in 1989 when we had the half pipe. And I came from Pennsylvania, jumped the fence, and met Eddie. And we've been friends ever since. He's doing all kinds of tricks on the half pipe. If you go back in history books and old videos, King of New York videos, you'll see us battling all the time. Eddie and I were competitive and great friends. And all the way to the end, we were great friends. All I could say is he's tough as nails, and that's what everybody says about Eddie.
I am the founder, creator, engineered this park in 1988 when Eddie Rios, myself, and New York City Rad Dogs, which is 40 years old today, built this park. And Eddie is a special guy to this park. He was one of the best vert riders, street riders from 1988, maybe earlier, maybe 1984. And so he was part of the UND team, and then 2 years ago, we inducted him into the New York City Rad Dogs. And we're very proud here to represent him and his legacy and who he was to us. And so we love you, Eddie. I know you're looking down from us from heaven, enjoying your special event. And he was just a great guy, a great personality, got along with everybody, and was one of the greatest ramp riders in New York City, from New York City.
Let me see, Eddie Rios, Joe Buff. I'm trying to remember all the names, but all the old dudes, man, those guys, you know, had it going on. They were really dope at the time, and I was super intimidated, but they pushed me and told me, yo, you should join us. And I was like, join you? I'm not good enough yet. And he was like, nah, join us, man. You'll learn while you're going along. And I was like, you know, flabbergasted. I was thankful, you know what I mean? That influence and that push basically kind of, I guess you could say, it transcended through my life, man. I've been riding these bikes forever, man, knowing, you know, the camaraderie and everything like that with BMX, you know, and Eddie being one of the ones introducing me to that and all, man. It was a really good thing.
It's a quick story how we met. I got into the sport, went out to Greengrass. Everybody was talking about Eddie. Eddie's coming. Who the fuck is Eddie? Like, he was the god to everybody, and I didn't even realize that. When I see him get to the park, he comes out of nowhere and just goes up in the air, and fucking all I see is him let go of the bike. I'm like, holy fuck. That was the nothing? Holy shit. Well, comes to know that I got stuck in the sport for about 30-something years just right after me seeing Eddie pull that nothing. Eddie is my biggest inspiration, was always my inspiration. He'll always be my inspiration. We love you, Eddie. You'll never be gone, brother. Memories forever.
Where to start with Eddie, man? Met late in the 80s. Rode together for the longest time in Queens. First time up here, it was Eddie, up in the Bronx. I don't know. We've been riding together for so many years, between Owl's Head, Incline Club. Taught me so much. The stoke was always high. We always had a good time. Gonna miss the guy a lot, man.
Profile Hub Trophy is a guy by the name of Turtle. You may know him. Turtle got all the moves in the ramp.
Rocked all the ramps, all the skate parks, did heavy tricks, did it today.
Hold up the trophy.
And
Get close up.
the best.
And, you know, it's always came and always showed love to us. It's Eddie Rios. Yeah, I'm one of the managers here at Mullaly Skate Park, a.k.a. Foster Bike Park, also known as Foster Bike Park. And cool Eddie story, one time when we was leaving from Woodward, it was a group of us in 2 cars. And Eddie was in one car, we were in the other car, and we was trying to share chicken wings between the 2 cars. So we started throwing the chicken wings between the windows back and forth. And in one section, I think we hit Danny Parks in the eye with a chicken, with a hot wing. And we almost drove off the road and killed ourselves. All because Eddie Rios' bad chicken wing aim. No, you know, Eddie's been a staple here for many, many years. You know, we miss him very much. We love him very much. We haven't seen him, you know, it's been about 6 to 8 months now since we lost him. And we just want to say we miss him, we love him, and his spirit is always going to live on here with us at Foster Bike Park.
Without you, Rob.